It's recap time. 3, 2, 1. Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Shower Podcast, the podcast where I'm in my shower and you do you. I'm your host, Chip, and this is not my usual intro. This is a bit of a special episode. Unfortunately, I will be away for a few days, and I found out this interesting way of filling the gaps with recaps from previous episodes. If this is your first time here, use it as an opportunity to find topics that you might be interested in and go back to listen to the original ones. If you are a usual listener of the Shower Podcast, well, again, this might be a rehearsal of topics that you might be interested in. Otherwise, I understand if you want to wait for me to be back. But in the meanwhile, the podcast needs to continue and we need to reach day 365. Having said that, I will not keep you longer. Thank you very much for listening. As always, a like and a subscribe. They are always welcome. And now, recap time.
Welcome back to the deep dive. Today, we're doing something pretty special, actually. A deep dive into material from our own Chip.
That's right. We're summarizing 3 recent weekend drop episodes from his Shower podcast, short, punchy ideas.
Exactly. Episodes 256, 257, and 263. They're these single focused thoughts meant to, shift your thinking. So our mission today is pretty simple. Pull out the key mental tools, the actionable stuff from these 3 drops. We'll go in order, starting right away.
A conversational shortcut, basically.
Yeah. And look, if any of these ideas, Borrowed Eyes, The Hard Zone, Mini Zero, if they really click with you, definitely go find the originals, hear it straight from Chip.
Good call. Consider this the study guide. And it's a great set, actually. When you look at them together, there's a real theme of intentionality running through them.
Intentionality, how so?
Well, we start with getting clear mentally, right, to see the problem. Then we move to the grit needed to tackle it. And finally, we get practical tools to stay focused despite, life happening.
Okay, I like that framing. Let's dive in then. Episode 256 first. Borrowed Eyes. So the setup is that feeling we all know.
Yeah.
You're staring at a problem, just spinning your wheels.
Totally stuck.
Yeah, you've looked at it every which way, and it's still just mud. Chip's core idea is stop forcing your perspective. If it's too saturated, maybe with emotion or history.
Right.
The trick, intentionally try to see your own issue through somebody else's eyes.
And this isn't just a nice idea. There's actually some solid cognitive science behind it. It's a technique called self-distancing.
Self-distancing, okay.
Yeah. Basically, our brains handle our own problems differently than problems we see as belonging to someone else. When you reframe it like, imagine this is your friend's problem, your reasoning centers, the frontal cortex, they get. Well, less interference from the emotional parts, like the amygdala.
So the brain literally cools down, takes the heat out of it.
Exactly. It dials down the urgency, the anxiety that often clouds our judgment when it's our stuff.
Which leads to that kind of funny but also slightly embarrassing phenomenon?
Yes. Solomon's paradox.
Right. The idea that we are, demonstrably wiser and more objective, giving advice to other people.
Then sorting out our own messes.
Totally. I think everyone knows that person, right? The advice guru for friends, just dropping wisdom bombs. But their own life is maybe complicated.
Yeah. A fascinating mess, as you said. That's Solomon's Paradox Live.
But knowing about it gives us a tool.
It does, and research backs this up. Even just shifting your language, talking to yourself in the third person, like, okay, what should he do here instead of what should I do? That alone can boost reasoning and lower stress. Almost instantly.
It creates that little bit of distance. Okay, but let's push on this a bit. Chip's action step is specific. Picture a mentor or a respected colleague, maybe even your future self. Imagine sliding the problem across the table to them. Ask, what would they say in just 2 sentences?
Right.
Does that really work if it's a totally new problem? One your mentor wouldn't have a direct answer for?
That's a fair question, but I think the goal of Borrowed Eyes isn't necessarily getting the answer from the mentor figure. It's more about forcing a different frame.
Okay.
So if you picture someone known for being really patient, you naturally adopt a more patient viewpoint for a moment. If you picture a risk taker, maybe you see the bolder options. It's less about borrowing their knowledge and more about clearing your own emotional windshield, like Chip put it.
So it cleans things up so your judgment can work better.
Precisely. It's an emotional reset button, basically. It bypasses the heat of the moment so you can see clearly again.
Got it. Clarity achieved. Borrowed Eyes helps us see the path.
But seeing the path doesn't mean walking it is easy, right? What's the next big hurdle once you know what Parning's doing?
Oh, yeah. It's the resistance, the difficulty. the sheer effort.
Exactly.
And that takes us straight into drop 257, which Chip calls the hard zone. He frames it using solo leveling in real life, which I think comes from a game or anime.
Yeah, something like that. The concept is key, though.
He defines the hard zone as that specific moment when a challenge stops feeling routine and starts feeling sharp, uncomfortable, maybe even a bit overwhelming.
That friction point.
Right. And our instinct usually is to treat that discomfort as a warning sign. Stop, back away, this is too hard.
Red alert.
Ew.
Yeah.
But Chip argues that resistance, that feeling, that's actually the signal to lean in.
And that's a perfect bridge, psychologically speaking. We're moving into developmental psychology here. Vygotsky's work. Lev Vygotsky. His concept of the zone of proximal development, the ZPD. The hard zone sounds almost exactly like it.
Okay, explain the ZPD.
It's that sweet spot, right? It's a space between what you can already do easily on your own and what's currently just out of reach, but achievable with effort or maybe a bit of guidance.
So not too easy, not impossibly hard.
Exactly. If it's too easy, you're not learning, just coasting. If it's way too hard, you just get frustrated and quit. The hard zone, or the ZPD, is where the struggle is focused, manageable, but definitely requires you to stretch.
And Chip really hammers home that this focused struggle is where the rapid improvement happens.
Absolutely. Which ties right into Anders Ericsson's work on deliberate practice.
Ah, the 10,000 hours guy. Well, sort of.
Sort of, yeah. But the core idea is that true improvement doesn't just come from logging hours. It comes from intentionally pushing yourself just beyond your current comfort zone. That feeling of mental or even physical frustration when you hit that wall.
Yeah.
That's not a sign you're failing or lack talent. It's actually a biological signal. It means your brain is literally rewiring itself, adapting to the challenge. The struggle is a feature of learning, not a bug.
That reframing is huge. If you see the struggle as the point, not proof of failure.
Then you're basically adopting a growth mindset, right? Carol Dweck's work.
Exactly. People with a growth mindset see effort as the path to getting better. So they stick with things longer, bounce back from mistakes faster. They might even start to enjoy the challenge itself.
The hard zone becomes, as Chip might say, effort dressed as opportunity.
I like that. Effort dressed as opportunity.
But it takes mental toughness to stay there when it feels, hard. So what's the practical takeaway? The thing you do in the moment.
It's purely a mental move, an internal script change. The next time your brain starts whispering, "Ooh, this is too much," or maybe I should stop, you pause. Recognize that feeling as the sign you've entered the hard zone, and you talk back to it. Internally, you say something like, okay, this is where the fun begins.
Flipping the script from pain to game.
From threat to challenge.
Yeah.
Okay, so we've got the clarity to see the path with borrowed eyes.
Yeah.
We've got the resilience to embrace the struggle needed to walk it, thanks to the hard zone mindset.
Right.
But what about just the day-to-day noise? The constant barrage, specifically the email monster that eats focus for breakfast.
Yes. The black hole. How do you maintain that hard-won focus amid constant fragmentation? We need structure.
Exactly. And that brings us neatly to the third drop, episode 263, Clear Your Inbox.
And right off the bat, Chip kind of busts the myth of inbox zero. The dream of a perfectly empty inbox all the time. Yeah, forget that. It's overwhelming for most people.
Totally. And the reality he points out is pretty stark. Some research suggests knowledge workers, people like us, switch tasks roughly every 3 minutes.
3 minutes? That's wow.
It's wild, right? Constantly interrupting ourselves. And email is often the main culprit, hijacking our attention, jacking up stress levels, keeping us in this state of, continuous partial attention.
And the cost isn't just the minute you spent on the email. It's the mental energy it takes to get back into whatever deep work you were doing before the interruption. That switching cost is huge.
So how do we fight that fragmentation without aiming for the impossible inbox zero?
This is where the progress principle comes in. It's a concept from Teresa Amabil's research.
Okay, the progress principle. Tell me more. Why is clearing just, say, 10 emails potentially better than trying to clear hundreds?
Because what Amabil found is that making even small, visible steps forward on meaningful work, that feeling of progress is one of the biggest single motivators and mood boosters we have.
Tiny wins matter disproportionately.
Exactly. You don't need perfection. You don't need that mythical empty inbox. What you need is momentum. And momentum starts small.
Okay, so the practical solution Chip offers isn't inbox zero, it's mini zero. Or almost zero.
Right. Don't try to boil the ocean. Pick a small, manageable slice, maybe just the last 10 emails you received, or only emails from yesterday. And crucially, set a timer, a short one, like 10 minutes.
Bounded effort. I like it.
And then within that 10 minutes, you apply the core tactic, the 3-pass rule. This gives you the structure.
Okay, break down the 3 passes. Pass 1.
Pass 1, delete. Quick scan, get rid of the obvious junk, the easy stuff, newsletters you won't read, notifications, CCs you don't need action on. Just clear the noise, fast.
Makes sense. Noise reduction. Pass 2.
Path 2, quick reply action. Anything you can deal with in, say, under 2 minutes, do it now. A quick answer, a fast confirmation, forwarding something. Bank those easy wins. That feeds the progress principle we just talked about.
Okay, delete the junk. Handle the quick hits. That leaves the harder stuff. The emails needing real thought or work. That's pass 3, right? But you don't do the work now.
Correct. This is the crucial bit for managing overwhelm. For anything complex that's left after pass 1 and 2, you don't tackle it in the 10 minutes. Instead, you do something very specific. You create an implementation intention.
Implementation intention. Sounds fancy. What is it?
It's basically making a concrete plan. Instead of leaving it vague, like, oh, I need to reply to that big project email, you define exactly when and where you'll do it. You write it down, maybe in your task list or calendar. Tomorrow at 10 a.m., I will spend 30 minutes replying to the project email.
Ah, so you're telling your brain precisely when this thing will get handled, not just later.
Exactly. You define the trigger, time, place, and the action. It's a commitment, not just a fuzzy intention. And the magic is, once you do that, which takes seconds, your brain often just relaxes about it.
The open loop gets closed.
Right. You've told your brain, it's handled, stop reminding me. This frees up significant mental bandwidth without actually having done the big task yet. It's inbox hygiene, not inbox surgery.
Inbox hygiene.
Yeah.
I like that. And you know, what I found really relatable in that drop, Chip actually mentioned he was stressed recording it. He was having tech issues with his recorder.
Oh, really? Huh.
Yeah. So he was kind of living the hard zone himself, dealing with tech friction, but he still pushed through, stayed consistent, recorded the drop about managing overwhelm. It felt very real.
That's perfect. It shows these aren't just abstract ideas. They're tools for dealing with real-life bumps. It connects everything beautifully. So if we pull back and look at all 3, borrowed eyes, hard zone, mini zero, the thread really is this idea of conscious, deliberate action.
Cool.
Intentionality.
Yeah, I see that now.
Borrowed eyes gives you the intentional distance to get clear about what needs doing. The hard zone gives you the intentional mindset to embrace the necessary struggle involved.
And mini zero gives you the intentional structure to actually make progress day to day without getting derailed by the chaos.
Clarity, resilience, focus, all driven by intention.
Wow, okay. We've covered a lot there, from deep mindset shifts to really practical daily tactics. Let's wrap up with something for you, the listener, to maybe chew on this week. A final thought. This mini zero strategy, the 10-minute timer, the 3-pass rule. It seems super useful for email, obviously, but where else could it apply? What other overwhelming, maybe non-digital area of your life could benefit from this approach?
Ooh, good question.
Maybe it's tackling that pile of chores you've been avoiding, or organizing project notes, or even just starting to look at personal finances. Could setting a tiny 10-minute timer, doing a quick sort past 1, handling one small thing past 2, and making a concrete plan for the next step past 3, could that work?
Worth trying, right? Focus on the implementation intention for the big stuff.
Give it a shot. See if it lowers that mental load for you.
Definitely. Well, thank you for joining us on this deep dive into these really quite powerful but simple frameworks from Chip.
Yeah, we hope these summaries give you a useful new mental toolkit for the week.
Yeah.
Remember, knowing this stuff is one thing, but actually applying it, that's where the value is.
Absolutely.
See you tomorrow.
See you tomorrow.